There will come a day, not marked by clocks, nor announced by thunder, when humanity opens its eyes and remembers what it truly is. On that day, the sun will rise as it always has, but the world will no longer appear the same. The walls between past and future will shimmer like mirages. The ticking of time will slow, then dissolve, like mist before dawn, and humanity, long imprisoned within its own illusion, will awaken not into chaos, but into clarity so profound it will feel like the first breath after an eternity underwater. This awakening has been whispered through the ages, encoded in myth, scripture, and science alike. The mystics called it enlightenment, the prophets called it revelation, and the physicists, if they dared to look closely enough, might call it the collapse of temporal observation, the instant where awareness transcends sequence and realizes itself as the still point around which time revolves. It is not that time will end. It is that time will return home, no longer perceived as a river dragging us helplessly forward, but as a reflection, shimmering and malleable, upon the still surface of eternal consciousness. You see, humanity has lived asleep for so long that it has mistaken dreams for daylight. We have measured our existence in years, milestones, and memories, believing that life is a line, a narrow thread stretched taut between birth and death. But this line is an illusion drawn by the mind, a construct designed to make the infinite appear manageable. In truth, all moments coexist, layered like pages in a single cosmic manuscript, and consciousness, your consciousness, flips through them so seamlessly that the illusion of motion arises. Time, then, is not the author of your life. You are the reader. Every sunrise, every heartbreak, every decision you have ever made is but a frame in the endless reel of a timeless film. Yet humanity, unaware of its role, continues to identify with the flickering projection instead of realizing it is the light behind it. That is the tragedy and the beauty of this grand forgetting, for only by believing we are bound can we learn what freedom feels like when the chains dissolve. But what does it mean for time itself to collapse? It is not a physical cataclysm, nor an end to history, but the unraveling of our psychological dependency on the linear. It is the collective recognition that before and after were never more than convenient illusions, mental bookmarks in the infinite book of now. When humanity wakes, we will no longer perceive life as a journey from here to there, but as an omnipresent unfolding. Every experience will shimmer with equal significance, for all will be seen as expressions of the same timeless pulse, consciousness knowing itself. This realization has been building quietly, beneath the noise of civilization. Every time an individual wakes up to their true nature, realizing that awareness itself is not confined to the body or the clock, a ripple moves through the collective field. Millions of tiny awakenings, occurring in solitude, in silence, in the spaces between thought, are forming a kind of luminous network, a web of remembrance. The dream is growing lucid, the dreamer is stirring. And yet, for most, the illusion still holds strong. The machinery of society depends on it, deadlines, economies, ambitions, fears, all tethered to the ticking metronome of time. We fear the future because we believe it exists apart from us. We grieve the past because we believe it has vanished beyond our reach. In both cases, we fracture ourselves, living as exiles from the present moment, never realizing that the present is not a fleeting point between was and will be, but the infinite canvas upon which both are painted. When humanity finally understands this, truly understands, it will not be a collective thought but a collective shift. The veil will thin. We will see that we were never evolving toward enlightenment. We were merely waking up within it. And as that awakening unfolds, time will cease to be the prison it once was. Cause and effect will lose their tyranny, and the linear narratives that define our lives, success and failure, birth and death, will dissolve into the wider truth. Everything that has ever been and ever will be already is. right here, right now. Imagine a civilization that no longer hurries, because it has remembered that it was never late. Imagine a species that no longer fears death, because it has seen through the illusion of ending. Imagine a humanity that creates not from desperation, but from the serene joy of eternal being. That is what the collapse of time truly means, not apocalypse, but awakening, not destruction, but remembrance. And the question that lingers, quietly, beneath all of this is, what happens to you in that moment? When the scaffolding of time crumbles, who remains to measure the ruins? Who are you without the story of before and after? When you no longer count your life in days, but in awareness itself, what does it mean to live? Perhaps that is what this age, this epic, this dream we call history, has been leading us toward all along, the recognition that consciousness is not in time, but that time itself is in consciousness. Humanity's awakening, then, will not be a global event, but a return, a remembering of what has always been awake, even as we dreamed. To understand what it means for time itself to collapse, we must first understand the architecture of the illusion we live in, the intricate, multidimensional simulation that we call reality. It is a masterpiece of design, precise and mesmerizing, where consciousness forgets its vastness so completely that it begins to believe it is small. The illusion is not a trap, but a tool, a playground for awareness to experience limitation, separation, and growth. And central to this illusion is the concept of time. Time, in its simplest sense, is the operating system of human consciousness. It is the framework through which we sequence experience, much like a film reel that gives motion to still images. Without it, the human mind, conditioned to perceive through cause and effect, would dissolve into the vast, formless totality that underlies existence. So, time is both a blessing and a barrier. It allows the infinite to experience itself as finite, and in doing so, it sustains the illusion of individuality. Humanity's great misunderstanding has been to mistake this tool for truth. We have taken the convenience of linear progression and turned it into an absolute law. From birth to death, from sunrise to sunset, from history to prophecy, we have built entire civilizations on the assumption that time flows forward. Unbroken, immutable, but modern physics, mysticism, and direct experience all whisper the same secret: time is not a river. It is an ocean. Every droplet exists simultaneously. It is only our perception that drifts. Einstein once said that the distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. That illusion persists because it is woven into the very way consciousness interprets itself. In sleep, we know no time, only the shifting landscapes of dream. In deep meditation, the boundaries of seconds and centuries blur into stillness. These moments are glimpses of the underlying reality. That time does not move through us, rather, we move through fields of possibility, experiencing one vibrational pattern after another, calling it the passage of time. If humanity were to awaken to this, truly awaken, we would realize that every event, every encounter, every life is not sequential but simultaneous, woven into the same eternal tapestry. The collapse of time is not the destruction of chronology, it is the dissolution of the illusion of separation. You have not been evolving toward enlightenment, you have been orbiting it all along. Like a planet circling the sun, mistaking the motion for distance. This brings us to the next key theme, the mirror of consciousness. Reality, as we perceive it, is not an external construct but a reflection, a projection of collective awareness. Each moment of time we experience is a mirror of our own state of being. When consciousness is asleep, the reflection appears fragmented, chaotic, divided into before and after, me and you, birth and death. But as awareness expands, these divisions soften, and the mirror reveals its wholeness, showing us that every reflection is part of one seamless light. The idea that time will collapse is, then, a poetic way of describing the reintegration of perception. It is the return from fragmentation to unity, from dreaming to remembering. In this light, every moment of your life has been a lesson in perception, a doorway back to awareness. The heartbreaks, the victories, the waiting, the rushing, all of it has been choreography. The cosmos itself has been teaching you, patiently, to see beyond the veil of temporal illusion. There is also the theme of collective resonance. Humanity, though it appears as billions of individuals, is a single organism, a vast, multidimensional being experiencing itself from countless perspectives. Each awakening within an individual is not isolated. It sends ripples through the entire field of human consciousness. The collapse of time is not one person's enlightenment, but the culmination of countless awakenings synchronizing, like tuning forks resonating in harmony until the entire orchestra of reality shifts its frequency. When enough of us remember, the dream can no longer sustain its fragmentation. The illusion of linearity will fade, and we will begin to experience time not as a line, but as a sphere, an ever-present now that includes all potentialities. This is not fantasy, it is the natural evolution of consciousness. The point toward which all spiritual traditions and even quantum physics converge. And perhaps the most profound theme of all is that this collapse is already happening. The symptoms are everywhere: the acceleration of technology, the distortion of time perception, the collective yearning for presence, the increasing number of people who experience synchronicities, moments where the boundaries of past and future blur and the universe seems to whisper directly. These are not coincidences. They are indicators that humanity's perception of time is thinning. The truth is that time has never been what we thought it was. It was never a wall separating moments, but a curtain, and now, we are beginning to see the light behind it. The more humanity awakens to its timeless nature, the faster the illusion destabilizes. And as that curtain falls away, what remains is not chaos, but stillness. The kind of stillness from which universes are born. That is the paradox of awakening. The end of time is not destruction, but creation reborn without boundaries. When we awaken, we will see that we have been both the dreamers and the architects of time all along, the ones who built the illusion, forgot the design, and are now remembering. The mind, though housed within the fragile vessel of the body, is not confined by it. It stretches, like invisible tendrils of light, beyond the skull's architecture, dipping into fields of energy that few can see but all can sense. Every thought, every intention, every fleeting emotion is a ripple sent into the ocean of collective consciousness. We are taught to believe that our awareness emerges from the brain, neurons firing, chemicals mixing, synapses sparking. But what if that is only the shadow of something greater? The brain might not create consciousness, but rather tune into it, much like a radio receiving frequencies from an unseen broadcast. The neurons are not the source, they are the instruments, finely tuned, exquisitely fragile, and profoundly mysterious. Consider this. When you close your eyes and imagine a landscape, say, a golden field under a violet dusk, where is that image located? Not in your eyes, not in the physical folds of your cortex. It exists in a space both within and beyond you, a realm the ancients called the imaginal, where reality and mind intertwine. It is in this subtle realm that dreams are born, intuition speaks, and time itself seems to dissolve. Science has begun to graze the edge of this truth. Quantum physicists speak of the observer effect, the notion that reality behaves differently when it is watched. But mystics have whispered this for millennia. The act of seeing is the act of creation. When awareness gazes upon the void, patterns emerge, form takes shape, energy condenses into matter. You, the perceiver, are not merely observing reality, you are co-authoring it. The body, then, is not a cage but a conduit. The heart, for instance, possesses an electromagnetic field that extends meters beyond the chest. It vibrates with emotion, intention, and resonance, syncing with others around it like silent music. When two people meet and feel an unspoken connection, it is not coincidence, it is entrainment, a harmonic alignment of invisible frequencies. Ancient civilizations understood this intuitively. The Egyptians believed the heart was the seat of the soul. The Vedic sages of India mapped the energy centers, chakras, that spiral within the body, connecting flesh to spirit. Modern science, in its relentless pursuit of data, often overlooks the poetry embedded in these truths. Yet when measured through the lens of both mysticism and physics, a pattern emerges. Consciousness weaves through everything, and the body is its instrument of manifestation. When you breathe deeply and close your eyes, feel how awareness does not stop at your skin. Feel it expand outward, touching the air, the space, the quiet hum of existence. You begin to realize that what you once called self is not a fixed point but a spectrum, an unfolding. What if you are not inside the body, but the body is inside you? This inversion of perception shatters the illusion of separation. The skin no longer feels like a boundary but a membrane between dimensions. Your organs are not mere biological machines but living symbols of cosmic principles. The heart, a pulsing sun; the lungs, twin galaxies breathing creation; the spine, a serpent of light ascending toward awakening. Mystics often describe enlightenment not as the gaining of knowledge but as the remembering of something forgotten. You are not learning who you are. You are remembering that you were never the body to begin with. The flesh is sacred, yes, but it is temporary, a temple that allows the eternal to experience time, pain, and beauty. When the ancients built temples, they mirrored them after the human body: the dome for the skull, the columns for the spine, the inner sanctum for the heart. They understood that architecture and anatomy spoke the same language: symmetry, proportion, divine geometry. The temple was not built merely to honor the gods. It was built to remind humans of their own divinity. Your body, too, is such a temple. Within its chambers lies the secret of creation, consciousness dreaming itself into form. Every heartbeat, every breath, is an act of sacred synchronization between matter and spirit. And yet, most of us live as if asleep, trapped in the trance of identification. Mistaking the reflection for the source, we chase desires that fade, cling to identities that crumble, and forget the silent witness who watches all. But once you awaken, even slightly, to the hidden machinery of awareness, once you glimpse that you are the observer behind every thought, the silence beneath every sound, the illusion begins to fracture. Reality itself starts to shimmer. The walls of the temple breathe, and the body you once thought was merely flesh becomes luminous, alive with cosmic memory. Awakening rarely arrives like lightning. It unfolds quietly, like dawn leaking into a darkened room. Soft and golden. At first, it feels disorienting. You begin to notice how everything you once believed to be real wavers slightly, as though the edges of the world were trembling. The solidity of objects, the certainty of time, the predictability of thought, all begin to unravel. You start to see that your senses are not windows to the world, but filters. The eyes do not show you reality, they show you what your mind is ready to see. Every photon of light that strikes your retina is translated, edited, interpreted, and by the time it reaches consciousness, what remains is not the world, but a symbol of it, a projection. For years, you accepted the illusion without question. You believed in the permanence of matter, the authority of time, the reliability of perception. But now, something inside you stirs. A voice, ancient and intimate, whispers, "What if you've been dreaming with your eyes open?" In that question, everything begins to shift. You start to notice moments of quiet distortion, the way the air shimmers when you stare long enough, or how time dilates during moments of awe or fear. You feel energy around people before they speak. You dream vividly, and those dreams bleed into waking life. Synchronicities multiply. The world begins to respond to your thoughts, almost mischievously, as if testing whether you've realized the game. It is then that you understand, perception is participation. The observer is not passive but deeply entangled in what is observed. When you change your inner state, the external world echoes it back. The ancient Hermeticists called this correspondence, as above, so below, as within, so without. The sages of the East called it Maya, the divine illusion that responds to consciousness like a mirror. And as your awareness deepens, reality itself begins to breathe. You sense that every moment is alive, not static, but pulsating with infinite potential. The line between imagination and existence grows thin. Thoughts become waves, emotions become frequencies, and intentions, once mere whispers, begin to move mountains. You realize that the world does not happen to you, it happens through you. The physical senses were never designed to reveal the totality of reality. They are instruments for navigation, not comprehension. The true seeing occurs when you begin to perceive with the heart, with intuition, with presence. It is not the sight of the eyes but the gaze of the soul. When the ancient mystics entered states of ecstasy or deep meditation, they reported seeing light, unbearably bright, yet infinitely gentle. It was not light in the physical sense, but consciousness illuminating itself. You begin to feel that same light stirring in your own being, like a flame that had always been there, waiting beneath the noise. At first, this awakening feels like madness. The old world no longer makes sense. The linear dissolves into the circular, the solid melts into the fluid. You may even grieve the death of certainty, the loss of the tidy, mechanical universe you once trusted. But as you surrender, something miraculous happens. Fear gives way to wonder. You begin to perceive the infinite intelligence underlying everything. Every coincidence feels like choreography. Every encounter, a message. Every silence, a sacred interval between notes. The ordinary world transforms into a living symphony of meaning. You walk outside and see that the trees are not just trees, they are breathing entities, exchanging energy and thought. The stars above are not distant points of fire but ancient eyes watching through eternity. Even the air feels thick with unseen life, vibrations, whispers, codes. It becomes clear. The universe is not a machine but a mind. And you are one of its thoughts, self-aware, luminous, and dreaming itself into existence. This is the threshold of true perception, the place where seeing becomes knowing. You no longer observe life from the outside, you merge with it. The line between subject and object dissolves. The dancer and the dance are one. In that state, gratitude flows naturally. You realize that every hardship, every pain, was a veil, meant to conceal the greater truth until you were ready to behold it. Nothing was ever random. Every moment was designed to bring you here, to the awakening of perception, where you remember what you truly are. A consciousness pretending to be human. A divine awareness exploring its own reflection. A dreamer who has finally realized they're dreaming. And once that realization roots itself within you, there is no going back. The illusion remains, but it becomes transparent, like glass through which the infinite shines. You live still in the world of form, but you move through it differently, lighter, gentler, aware of the sacred machinery beneath every breath. The body is no longer a prison but a sacred vessel. The world is no longer a battlefield but a mirror. You awaken each morning not to another day, but to another layer of reality, each one revealing, in whispers and symbols, the same timeless truth. You were never separate. You were never small. You were never merely the body. You were always the awareness, vast, eternal, and free, dreaming itself into existence, one heartbeat at a time. When humanity finally awakens, time will not end in flames, it will dissolve in recognition. It will vanish not because the clocks stop ticking, but because the very notion of before and after will be seen for what it always was, a trick of perception. A spell cast by consciousness upon itself to experience motion, change, and growth within eternity. You see, time was never a river flowing forward, it was the ocean pretending to be a stream. Every droplet of experience you call a moment has always existed, suspended in the vast stillness of now. The past is memory, the future is imagination. Both unfold within the same silent witness, the consciousness reading these words in this very instant. When that witness awakens fully, the illusion of linearity collapses. What remains is presence, boundless, unbroken, eternal. This collapse is not destruction but revelation. It is the unveiling of the architecture behind existence, the realization that what you once called life was the dream of timelessness unfolding through the language of time. Humanity has lived inside this language for millennia, trapped in grammar and measurement, believing the sequence to be real. We built civilizations upon calendars, philosophies upon causality, identities upon narrative. But when we awaken, we see that everything we thought was happening was actually being. There was never movement, only vibration. Never history, only the eternal act of creation repeating itself in infinite variations. The day humanity wakes up will not be a single sunrise, it will be an inward turning. A sudden stillness across the species, like the breath held before revelation. It may not happen all at once, yet its ripple will be unmistakable. You might imagine millions of eyes blinking open in unison, not outward, but inward, each consciousness remembering itself as the source. The illusion of separation will melt like mist before dawn. Borders, names, roles, all the scaffolding of identity will fall away, and what will remain is awareness. Standing naked before itself, realizing it was never divided. When that happens, time as you know it will collapse because it was built on division. The distance between then and now. Between me and you. Between here and there. When those lines fade, simultaneity becomes visible. Every soul, every thought, every heartbeat throughout history is revealed to be occurring right now. Threads woven through one infinite tapestry. The prophets glimpsed it in visions. The mystics touched it in silence. The physicists brushed against it in equations of quantum entanglement. All were pointing to the same truth. The universe is not unfolding in time. Time is unfolding within the universe. And yet, this realization does not remove meaning, it deepens it. The ordinary becomes luminous. Each smile, each tear, each breath is seen as sacred choreography in the dance of the infinite exploring itself. You understand that your struggles were not delays but designs, your losses not accidents but openings. Everything that has ever happened, or will happen, was necessary for consciousness to rediscover its own reflection. From this awareness, compassion blooms effortlessly. When you see yourself in every face, harm becomes impossible. The wars humanity waged, against others, against nature, against itself, will be remembered as the fevered dreams of an unawakened mind. The collapse of time will not bring apocalypse, it will bring amnesty. Forgiveness will wash through the collective psyche like rain cleansing ancient dust. And for the first time in history, the world will exhale together. Science will not oppose this awakening, it will evolve with it. Equations will become poetry, and physics will be recognized as the study of consciousness in motion. Technology will transform from domination to communion, serving the remembering rather than the forgetting. And art will become the universal language again. For beauty is the fingerprint of the timeless. The painters will paint light itself. The musicians will compose silence. And the storytellers will weave tales not to escape the world but to reveal the divinity pulsing through it. And you, yes, you, will feel it. You will feel the pulse of eternity behind your heartbeat. You will sense the entire cosmos vibrating inside your breath. The illusion of distance will fade, and you will know that every star that ever shone was never above you. But within you, you will walk through the world as if through your own dream, tenderly, reverently, awake. To live in this awakened state does not mean abandoning the human story. It means living it consciously. It means tasting food and feeling the universe savoring itself. Listening to music and hearing creation hum through your bones. It means embracing pain not as punishment but as the texture of experience, the way infinity gives itself edges so that it may be known. You continue to move, but movement no longer binds you. You continue to speak, but words become echoes of something far vaster. You continue to love, and love becomes the fabric from which all realities are woven. And so, time collapses, not into nothing, but into everything. The linear dream folds into the infinite present. Death loses its finality. Birth loses its beginning. You realize that no one ever truly came, and no one ever truly left. All was one eternal pulse, rising, falling, breathing itself into endless form. This is the day humanity wakes up, not as gods, but as the memory of God stirring within itself. It is not the end of the world, but the end of forgetting. The mirrors clear, and we finally recognize our own reflection in all things. The grass, the stars, the silence between words, all whisper the same truth. You are never outside the dream. And in that realization, time bows. The clocks keep ticking, but you no longer belong to them. You live in the timeless, walking through the temporary, radiant with remembrance. The dream continues, yes, but now, you are lucid, and the infinite smiles through your eyes, for it has finally remembered its own name.